Your subconscious mind holds a power you might not fully realize yet. It's always working in the background, shaping how you feel, what you believe, and the choices you make, often without you even noticing. Imagine if you could tap into that power every day, guiding it to support your goals, boost your confidence, and bring positive change to your life. That's what this journey is all about. This isn't about quick fixes or empty promises. It's about learning practical steps to train your mind in ways that build real, lasting strength. You'll discover how to replace fear with courage, doubt with belief, and distraction with focus. Every idea shared here is meant to help you take control of your thoughts, so they serve your growth instead of holding you back. You'll find simple habits to develop, clear techniques to sharpen your focus, and ways to protect your mental space from negativity. These tools are designed to be easy to apply, nothing complicated or overwhelming. Just straightforward guidance that fits into your daily life and helps you build discipline over time. As you move through this, you'll start seeing your mindset shift. You'll feel more confident, more resilient, and more in charge of your future. The change comes step by step, thought by thought, until your new way of thinking becomes part of who you are. If you're ready to unlock the power of your subconscious mind and create the life you want, keep reading. This is a path to real personal growth, built on daily practice and steady progress. The best part, you don't have to wait for some big moment to start. You can begin now, right here, right today. Chapter 1. Activate your subconscious mind with clear daily intentions. Most people drift through life, reacting to whatever comes their way. They wake up, go through their routines, and end the day without ever stopping to ask where they are going or why they are doing what they do. Days become weeks, and weeks become years, all blending into a fog of routine without direction. The subconscious mind, one of the most powerful forces inside every human being, remains untapped. It stays quiet, obedient, and unnoticed. But here is a truth that separates those who struggle from those who succeed. Your subconscious mind is always listening. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every word you speak, it absorbs and follows without question. It builds your identity in silence. If you don't speak with intention, the world will shape your mind for you. If you don't direct it daily, it will simply repeat what it already knows. That is why daily intention is not just a feel-good concept, it is the foundation of self-mastery. It is the act of commanding your subconscious mind to focus, to serve your goals, to carry your thoughts in the direction of your highest potential. It is the quiet discipline of telling your mind what matters before the noise of the world tries to decide for you. When you wake up and decide what kind of person you will be, what kind of energy you will bring, what kind of focus you will hold, you are no longer drifting, you are leading. And the subconscious mind responds instantly to leadership. Most people believe change takes time, but they overlook that the direction of your life can change in a moment, the moment you take full ownership of your attention. And that begins the instant you open your eyes each morning. The first 5 minutes of your day are sacred. They set the tone for how your mind will interpret the world. If your first thoughts are aimless, anxious, or distracted, your mind begins to gather evidence for those feelings all day long. If your first thoughts are clear, purposeful, and grounded, your mind finds alignment with that energy. It is a simple law. What you tell your mind to look for, it finds. What you tell your mind to focus on, it repeats. That is the power of your subconscious. It does not judge, it does not argue. It follows your instructions. To activate your subconscious mind with daily intentions, you must begin with clarity. You need to know what you want, why it matters, and how you plan to move toward it today. You don't need a 10-year vision. You need one clear decision for today. What emotion do you want to carry? What kind of thoughts do you want to repeat? What challenge will you face with calm? What quality will you live by, no matter what happens? These are not lofty questions. These are the questions that shape your identity. Each day you must return to them and answer them like your life depends on it. Because it does. You don't rise to the level of your desires. You rise to the level of your standards. Your subconscious mind reflects those standards back to you in every moment. If you carry a standard of discipline, your actions follow it. If you carry a standard of excellence, your focus sharpens. If your standard is survival, your thoughts remain reactive. This is why vague goals never produce powerful change. Your mind does not respond to vague ideas. It responds to clarity. It follows specific instructions, so every morning, give it the direction it needs. Speak with purpose, think with focus, write your intention if you must, but never begin your day without deciding what kind of person you will be today. Daily intention is not a task, it is a mindset. It is not about being positive, it is about being clear. You must decide what you stand for before the world tests it. You must decide what matters before pressure shows up. If you wake up waiting for inspiration, you will fall behind. If you wake up waiting for life to be easier, you will never build strength. Strength comes from deciding your state of mind before circumstances can define it for you. That is why setting your daily intention is the most powerful habit you can build. It teaches your subconscious to serve you, not sabotage you. This practice does not require hours. It requires honesty. Most people lie to themselves in the first hour of their day. They lie by avoiding their fears. They lie by pretending they are focused while scrolling through distractions. They lie by hoping their goals will work out without effort. If you want to wake up with power, you must wake up with truth. What are you committed to today? What feeling will you protect no matter what? What excuse will you stop using? These are not just reflections. These are commands. You are speaking directly to the part of your mind that builds your future. The subconscious is always watching. It sees the moments you quit. It hears the thoughts you repeat. It remembers what you practice, even when you say it doesn't matter. If your actions contradict your words, it listens to your actions. If your thoughts contradict your vision, it follows your thoughts. That is why discipline is not about control. It is about alignment. When your words match your behavior, your mind feels safe. It learns to trust your leadership. It begins to move forward without resistance. You begin to feel like progress is your natural state. Many people wonder why they feel stuck. It is not because they lack ability. It is because they give their subconscious conflicting directions. They want peace but practice chaos. They want growth but avoid discomfort. They want success but repeat failure patterns. The subconscious can only follow one path at a time. If your words say one thing and your habits say another, your mind will follow the stronger message, and the strongest message is always action. So when you set your daily intention, back it with behavior. Show your subconscious that you mean it. Practical action is the fuel that drives subconscious change. If your intention is to be calm, then breathe deeply when stress shows up. If your intention is to be focused, then eliminate distractions when they appear. If your intention is to be courageous, then speak the truth even when fear is loud. These actions do not need to be big. They need to be honest. They need to align with the identity you are building. When your actions match your intention, your subconscious begins to rewrite the story you've been living. You no longer need willpower to be disciplined. Discipline becomes who you are. One powerful method to reinforce daily intention is to speak it aloud each morning. Words carry energy. When you say something with conviction, your subconscious records it. Speak clearly. Use strong, direct language. Say what you are choosing today. Say who you are becoming. Say what you are no longer accepting. Say what you are moving toward. This simple practice strengthens your identity and reminds your mind where to focus. Over time, these declarations become beliefs, and beliefs become behavior. Another powerful method is to write down your intention each morning and evening. This anchors your focus. It tells your mind what matters. It builds a ritual of reflection and clarity. You can write one sentence. You can write a list, but keep it real. Don't write what sounds good. Write what you're committed to. What you write must challenge you, not comfort you. The purpose is to move your attention forward, not keep it stuck in old habits. Consistency in this practice builds trust between your conscious goals and your subconscious patterns. The key is to make daily intention non-negotiable. Just like eating or sleeping, it becomes a necessity, not because you're trying to be perfect, but because you're committed to growth. Without intention, the world will decide how you feel. With intention, you become the author of your mindset. And once you begin to lead your thoughts, your life begins to shift. Opportunities feel closer. Doubt feels smaller. Strength feels natural. Because your subconscious has a leader now, it has you. There will be days when you feel tired. Days when motivation is low. Days when life feels heavier than usual. But this is when intention matters most. Anyone can set a goal on a good day. Real transformation happens when you decide who you are on the hard days. When you wake up tired, but still speak your intention. When you feel fear, but still act with courage. When you face pressure, but still choose presence. These are the moments your subconscious rewrites its rules. It no longer believes your emotions are in charge. It begins to believe your character is. When you activate your subconscious with clear daily intentions, you begin to live on purpose. You begin to trust yourself again. You no longer wait for life to improve. You improve yourself. You no longer ask if you're capable. You prove it. You no longer chase peace. You create it. The gap between who you are and who you want to be begins to close. Not through luck or chance, but through consistent intention, focused thought, and aligned action. This chapter is not about motivation. It is about mastery. The kind of mastery that starts in silence. The kind of strength that is built in private. The kind of growth that no one sees, but everyone eventually notices. And it all begins with a single clear intention, repeated every day until it becomes your foundation. Your mind is listening. Your future is waiting. Your next decision matters more than your past. Activate your subconscious. Tell it who you are. Remind it what you're building. And live like your thoughts shape your life. Because they do. Chapter 2. Train your thoughts to support your best future. Your thoughts are the foundation of your future, whether you realize it or not. Every decision you make, every emotion you feel, and every result you experience begins as a thought. That's why it's not enough to just think randomly and hope for the best. If you want to create a better future, you must train your mind to think in a way that builds it. This isn't about daydreaming or forcing fake positivity. It's about taking control of your inner dialogue so that it works with you instead of against you. It's about replacing fear with focus, doubt with discipline, and distraction with direction. Most people let their thoughts drift. They don't even realize the patterns they've accepted. If you wake up and think the same things you did yesterday, thoughts of worry, insecurity, regret or defeat, then you are teaching your mind to stay stuck. You are reinforcing a version of yourself that belongs to the past. But when you start observing your thoughts and making choices about them, you interrupt that pattern. You break the loop of automatic thinking and begin building a future based on awareness and intention. To train your thoughts, you must start with observation. Pay close attention to what your mind does when you're not guiding it. When you're driving, waiting in line, walking, or lying in bed, what thoughts show up? Are they helping you grow? Are they moving you forward? Are they focused on what matters? If not, don't judge yourself, just notice. Awareness is the beginning of power. You can't change what you don't notice. And once you notice a thought that doesn't serve you, you don't argue with it. You redirect it. Thought redirection isn't about pretending, it's about being clear. For example, if your mind says, "I'll never figure this out," pause and replace it with, "I'm learning how to solve this." If your mind says, "Nothing ever works for me," replace it with, "I'm improving every day and I will find what works." You are not lying to yourself. You are choosing thoughts that support your growth instead of thoughts that keep you small. Your subconscious will believe whatever you feed it consistently. So make sure it's getting the right message. One of the most powerful habits you can build is asking better questions. Your mind is always searching for answers. If you ask questions like, "Why do I always mess things up?" your mind will go find proof. But if you ask, "What's one small thing I can do right now to improve?" your mind will also find an answer. The quality of your thoughts depends on the quality of your questions. Train yourself to ask questions that lead you to strength, not weakness. Questions that lead you to solutions, not excuses. Another important step is to limit your exposure to negativity. Every message you consume becomes part of your mental environment. If you constantly listen to complaints, chaos, fear, or shallow opinions, those thoughts begin to shape your own. Be careful about the conversations you allow. Be intentional about the content you consume. You don't have to avoid reality, but you do have to protect your mental focus. If you want your thoughts to support your future, make sure your surroundings do too. It's also essential to build a habit of future-focused thinking. Don't just think about what's happening now. Train your mind to imagine the person you are becoming. Visualize how that version of you thinks, speaks, works, and solves problems. Then ask yourself, what thought would that version of me choose right now? This simple practice creates alignment between who you are and who you want to be. The future you want will not come from old patterns. It will come from new thinking, practiced consistently. Consistency matters more than intensity. You don't have to think perfectly all day long. You just have to notice when you're drifting and bring yourself back to focus. It's a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. Even catching yourself once a day is progress. Over time, those moments of correction become automatic. Your mind learns the new path. Your thoughts start supporting you without effort. That's how transformation begins. Not in a sudden breakthrough, but in quiet mental discipline, repeated daily. One useful exercise is to take 5 minutes every evening and reflect on your dominant thoughts from the day. Were they building your confidence or draining it? Were they helping you stay focused or pulling you into worry? Don't be harsh. Just observe. Then write down one new thought you want to practice tomorrow. Something simple, like "I stay calm under pressure," or "I'm moving forward, no matter how I feel." Repeat that sentence out loud when you wake up. Write it down again at lunch. Use it when doubt creeps in. The goal is to train your mind like an athlete trains their body, through daily repetition, not wishful thinking. It's also important to detach from perfection. You will have weak moments. You will think things that don't align with your goals. That doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're human. Progress isn't about never slipping. It's about noticing sooner, recovering faster, and staying committed to growth. The more patient you are with yourself, the more power you will have. Judgment keeps you stuck. Self-discipline sets you free. There will be days when your thoughts feel scattered. When that happens, return to your breath. Take slow, deliberate breaths and focus only on what you can control in the next 5 minutes. That one act of grounding will break the chain of negative thinking. It reminds your mind that you are in charge, not your emotions. Every time you take control of a chaotic thought, you train your brain to choose clarity over noise. It may feel small in the moment, but those moments add up. They shape who you become. You are not your past thoughts. You are not the mental habits you picked up from other people. You are the thinker, not the thought. And that means you can change. You can build a future that supports you. You can train your thoughts to speak to you with strength, patience and focus, but you must decide. You must lead. No one else can do it for you. No tool, app or program will train your mind better than you can. It is your daily decision that gives your thoughts their direction. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about removing the layers that are not you. The doubts, the fears, the voices of the past, none of that belongs to the future you are building. You get to decide what stays. You get to decide what thoughts deserve your time. And when you commit to that responsibility, your life begins to reflect your highest thinking, not your lowest fears. That is the strength you carry. That is the power of a trained mind. And that is how your future becomes a place you are proud to live in, because you built it thought by thought. Chapter 3. Build belief systems that strengthen your self-worth. The beliefs you hold about yourself define what you allow, what you pursue, and what you expect from life. Your self-worth is not determined by others. It's shaped by what you consistently tell yourself. Most people carry beliefs they never chose. They absorb them in childhood through criticism, failure, rejection, or silence. And without realizing it, they've built an inner voice that questions their value. If you've ever felt like you don't measure up or like something is wrong with you, that isn't your truth. It's a belief you've inherited. But beliefs are not permanent. They can be examined, challenged, and rebuilt. The process takes honesty, patience, and repetition. It's not about pretending to be confident. It's about deciding that you are no longer available for self-abandonment. You begin by identifying the beliefs that are quietly limiting your life. Pay attention to your inner reactions when you're given a compliment, when you succeed, or when an opportunity comes your way. Do you immediately downplay it? Do you assume it's a fluke, or that you don't deserve it? That automatic response is a sign of an old belief at work. Write it down without judgment. Then ask yourself, where did this come from? Most negative beliefs began with a moment when you were made to feel small. You might not even remember the exact time, but you've felt the weight of it ever since. That weight is not yours to carry anymore. Once you see a limiting belief clearly, you have the power to remove its influence. You do this not by arguing with it, but by replacing it with something stronger and truer. Instead of "I'm not good enough," you say, "I'm worthy of growth and respect." Instead of "I always fail," you affirm, "I learn and improve with every step." This isn't about saying things you don't believe. It's about planting the kind of thoughts that lead to strength. Beliefs grow from repetition. You don't need to feel worthy in the beginning. You just need to act like someone who respects themselves. You build belief through action, not just affirmation. Your environment also plays a role in shaping your beliefs. If you're surrounded by people who criticize, dismiss, or manipulate, your sense of worth will shrink to fit their treatment. You cannot build strong beliefs in a toxic atmosphere. Start protecting your space. Choose conversations that lift you up. Choose environments that reflect your values. You don't need to explain yourself. You need to honor yourself. As your surroundings become more supportive, your beliefs begin to mirror that safety. Another powerful step in building self-worth is keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you set an intention and follow through, you send a message to your mind. I am someone who shows up. Even the smallest commitment matters. Wake up when you say you will. Finish what you begin. Speak with honesty. Treat your body with care. These aren't just habits, they are quiet acts of self-respect. And each one tells your subconscious that you are trustworthy, dependable, and capable. That's how strong belief systems are built, through repeated evidence of your own integrity. You also need to learn how to separate your identity from your mistakes. Failure does not define you. Rejection does not reduce you. Disappointment is not a reflection of your worth. These are experiences, not labels. The moment you start saying, "This is something I went through," instead of, "This is who I am," your entire perspective begins to shift. You are not your setbacks. You are the one who keeps getting back up. That is the belief you must hold on to, even when things feel heavy. Especially then, it's helpful to reflect on what you've already overcome. Make a list of challenges you've faced and how you grew from them. Remember the moments you thought you couldn't go on, but did. Remember the days when you felt invisible, but kept showing up. That resilience is proof of your worth. It didn't come from perfection. It came from persistence. And if you've made it through this far, then you've already demonstrated more strength than you give yourself credit for. A belief in your value starts by recognizing what's already true. Gratitude is another tool for building worth, not just for what you have, but for who you are becoming. Start each day with a quiet acknowledgement of your growth. Say thank you for your awareness, your discipline, your willingness to change. This shifts your focus from what's missing to what's being built. It reminds your subconscious that you are a work in progress, not a problem to fix. Gratitude grounds you in what's real instead of what's lacking. And the more you practice it, the more you begin to see yourself through kinder eyes. You also need to create a vision of the person you're becoming and treat yourself according to that version. When you see yourself as someone who is focused, honest, and growing, you begin to act in ways that align with that vision. You stop accepting disrespect. You stop playing small. You stop chasing validation. You don't wait to feel worthy. You decide that you are. And then you build on that decision every day. That's how belief becomes reality. Not from the outside in, but from the inside out. There will be days when doubt returns. That's normal. What matters is how you respond. Will you let the old voice win, or will you remind yourself of the new one you're building? Every time you choose belief over fear, you strengthen a new pattern. Every time you choose self-respect over people-pleasing, you reinforce your value. These are not small decisions. These are the moments that shape your identity. And with enough consistency, the old voice grows quiet. It loses power, because you are no longer giving it your time or attention. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not less than anyone. You are human. You are here. And you are capable of rebuilding the way you see yourself. It begins with one thought, one promise, one boundary, one step toward a better standard. You do not need approval. You do not need permission. You need belief. And that belief is not given to you, it's created by you, over and over again, until it becomes who you are. The world reflects the way you see yourself. And when you start seeing yourself as someone worthy of peace, growth, love and respect, you begin to attract experiences that match that belief. This is not magic. It is discipline. It is ownership. It is the quiet decision to stop waiting and start becoming. The moment you decide to believe in your value, the world begins to adjust. Because belief is not something you hope for. It's something you build, thought by thought, choice by choice, day by day. Chapter 4. Feed your mind only thoughts that serve your growth. Everything you allow into your mind shapes the way you think, how you feel, and what you believe is possible for your life. Your mind is always processing input: what you watch, what you listen to, who you speak with, what you tell yourself when no one is around. If the majority of that input is filled with fear, judgment, comparison, or negativity, it becomes the dominant fuel for your decisions and your direction. You can't grow into your best life if you're feeding your mind the worst thoughts. You can't build peace if chaos is the soundtrack you wake up to. Growth needs mental space. It needs inner clarity. And it starts with the conscious choice to give your attention only to what helps you become stronger, wiser, calmer, and more focused. The first step is awareness. Begin by noticing how certain thoughts make you feel. Pay attention to what happens inside when you think about your goals, your past, or your future. Do your thoughts lift you or leave you stuck? Are you energizing your dreams, or quietly convincing yourself that they're not possible? If your thoughts leave you feeling small, drained, or ashamed, then you're not feeding your growth. You're feeding your fear. Thought patterns are not permanent. They can be questioned and changed. But you can't change what you refuse to acknowledge. So bring honesty into the center of your day. Become a quiet observer of your own mental environment. Once you become aware of the thoughts that hold you back, you have to be brave enough to interrupt them. You don't need to argue with every negative thought. You just need to stop giving it power. When an unhelpful thought appears, you have the right to reject it. You can replace it with something that's aligned with your values and your goals. For example, when your mind says, "I'll never figure this out," pause and say, "I am learning, and I'm getting stronger every time I try." That single shift begins a new mental pattern. One replacement might seem small, but over time, it forms a new internal standard. You also have to look at the external sources influencing your internal state. Who are you listening to every day? What kind of information are you consuming? The content you expose yourself to becomes a voice in your mind. If you're constantly surrounded by sarcasm, complaint, and distraction, you'll start to think those are normal ways of living. But you don't have to accept that. Start curating your environment with intention. Choose to read, watch, and listen to voices that challenge you to rise, that teach you to think deeply, and that remind you of your worth. Fill your time with people and messages that promote growth, not confusion. The content you choose matters more than you think. Guard your inner space with boundaries that match your vision. You don't need to be available to every conversation. You don't need to engage with gossip, arguments, or content that adds no value. Every distraction has a cost. And if you're not careful, you'll trade your peace for someone else's noise. Protect your focus like it's your future, because it is. Growth requires attention, and attention is a resource you must invest wisely. The more careful you are with what you let into your mind, the clearer your direction becomes. Another way to feed your mind for growth is to create rituals of stillness. Not everything has to be loud or fast. Sometimes the most important mental progress comes from being quiet long enough to hear your own thoughts. Take time each day to sit in silence, reflect, breathe deeply, and ask yourself meaningful questions. What am I focusing on today? What kind of person do I want to be? What do I need to let go of? These moments create space for clarity, and clarity is what gives your mind the strength to choose growth over distraction. Consistency matters more than intensity. It's not about having a perfect mindset all the time. It's about building a habit of mental responsibility. Feeding your mind for growth means checking in with yourself every day, not just when things go wrong. It means choosing supportive thoughts on purpose, especially when doubt tries to return. When you catch yourself slipping into old habits of fear or self-judgment, gently bring yourself back. The goal is not to control every thought, but to create a stronger baseline of awareness and direction. Over time, this becomes your new normal. Your language matters. The words you use when you speak to yourself shape how you see the world. If you're always saying, "I'm tired," "I'm stuck," "I can't handle this," you're reinforcing a mindset of limitation. But when you say, "I'm working through this," "I'm adjusting," or "I'm learning to handle challenges," you're reinforcing resilience. You're telling your mind that you are not defeated, you are developing. This doesn't mean you lie to yourself. It means you choose words that support your growth, even in difficulty. Be deliberate with your language. Let it reflect the direction you want to grow. It's also important to stay grounded in your own values. When you know what matters most to you, integrity, focus, kindness, discipline, you can return to those values anytime your mind gets overwhelmed. Values act like a compass. They help you filter what thoughts are worth holding on to and which ones you can release. If a thought doesn't align with your values, you don't need it. You can let it pass like a cloud in the sky. This mental clarity helps you stay rooted in growth, instead of being pulled in every direction by outside noise. Journaling is a practical tool to support this process. Writing helps you see your thoughts clearly. It slows them down and gives you a chance to understand their patterns. Start with a simple daily practice. Ask yourself, what did I think today that helped me? And what did I think that held me back? This kind of reflection helps you take ownership of your mental environment. It reminds you that you are not powerless. You are the one choosing what thoughts to nurture and what thoughts to release. Gratitude is another daily practice that supports a growth mindset. When you focus on what's working, even in small ways, your mind begins to shift towards solutions instead of problems. Gratitude is not about ignoring difficulty. It's about recognizing strength within it. It helps you feed your mind with hope, resilience, and appreciation for progress. And when practiced regularly, it becomes a powerful shield against negativity. You also grow by challenging your thoughts. When a belief feels limiting, don't accept it at face value. Ask, is this thought based on fear or truth? Who would I be without this thought? What action can I take that reflects courage, not fear? These questions break the cycle of passive thinking. They help you step back, observe, and choose a new direction. Mental freedom begins when you stop being controlled by every thought that enters your mind. The goal is not to become perfect. It's to become aware, intentional, and focused. Growth is not a one-time decision. It's a way of thinking, choosing, and living every day. Feed your mind with discipline, encouragement, and truth. Surround yourself with ideas that stretch you. Speak to yourself with respect. Remove what distracts you from who you're becoming. Every thought you allow is either helping you rise or pulling you back. You have the power to decide which direction you go, and that power begins with what you choose to feed your mind. Chapter 5. Visualize your success with purpose and consistency. Success begins in the mind long before it appears in your life. The image you carry of your future quietly directs your actions, your choices, and your persistence. If that image is vague or clouded by fear, it becomes easy to drift through your days, reacting to circumstances instead of creating new ones. But when your mind holds a clear, vivid vision of the outcome you want to achieve, it begins to shape your energy, attention, and decisions in a way that aligns with that picture. Visualizing your success with purpose is not about fantasy. It's about rehearsing reality in advance so that your behavior rises to meet it. It is not wishful thinking, it is mental preparation. When you consistently picture the results you want to create, your subconscious begins to accept that future as familiar. It's not magic, it's conditioning. The mind follows the patterns it recognizes most. That's why clarity is so important. You can't visualize a better life in general terms and expect powerful results. Your mind needs details. It needs scenes, not slogans. Imagine how you feel waking up successful, what your environment looks like, how you walk, how you speak, how you solve problems, how you carry yourself when you're living the life you've chosen. The more you define it, the more your brain builds the neural pathways to support it. Your actions then begin to follow the blueprint you've created inside. Purposeful visualization is not a one-time act. It's a discipline. It requires you to return daily to the image of your goal, not only when you feel inspired, but especially when you feel tired, discouraged, or uncertain. That is the real training. Anyone can imagine greatness when everything is going well, but if you can hold your vision steady when nothing is working yet, that is where transformation begins. Consistency builds confidence, and confidence sustains the long journey between where you are and where you want to be. Keep showing your mind the direction, even when the road ahead looks unclear. You don't need special techniques to visualize your goals. You just need time, space, and honesty. Close your eyes for a few minutes each morning. See yourself living as the person you are becoming. Feel the strength in your posture, the calm in your breath, the clarity in your decisions. Hear the sounds of your new environment. Picture yourself navigating the challenges you once feared and rising above them with grace and control. This isn't about escaping reality. It's about preparing for it with intention. The mind responds powerfully to images that evoke emotion. So make your visualizations rich with feeling. Don't just see success, experience it. Let yourself feel the satisfaction of completing your goals, the pride of honoring your standards, the peace that comes from knowing you stayed true to your vision. Emotion makes the image stick, and what sticks becomes the foundation of your habits. A clear vision tied to emotion, repeated daily, that's how you train your subconscious to lead you where you need to go. Consistency is not just about repetition, it's about alignment. If you spend 5 minutes visualizing progress and the rest of the day complaining or doubting yourself, your vision won't hold much weight. Your daily behavior must reinforce the direction of your imagination. Let your choices echo your vision. Speak words that reflect your progress. Move through your day with the same mindset you imagined during your visualization. This is how you turn mental preparation into physical momentum. Distractions will come. Some days your mind will resist the process. Some days you'll feel too busy, too tired, or too uninspired to visualize anything clearly. That's when discipline matters most. Even a few moments of focused attention can reset your mental direction. Even a single mental rehearsal can recenter your day. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. Keep returning to your vision until it becomes the mental home you live in, even when your outer circumstances haven't caught up yet. Visualizing success doesn't mean pretending life will be easy. It means preparing yourself to handle it with strength. Include challenges in your mental rehearsal. Picture yourself staying focused when things go wrong. Imagine how you remain calm in stress, how you stay committed when others doubt you, how you rise again after failure. These mental scenes are not weaknesses, they are strategic tools. When your mind has already practiced perseverance, your body and emotions will follow more naturally when real difficulty arrives. There is something powerful about choosing to see beyond your current conditions. It gives you control in moments that would otherwise leave you reactive and passive. Visualization keeps you anchored to a higher version of yourself. It reminds you that your current situation is not the final word. Your mind is capable of holding a vision that transcends temporary discomfort. That's not denial. That's direction, and direction is everything. As you make visualization a habit, you'll notice subtle shifts. You'll catch yourself acting more intentionally. You'll feel less scattered. Your decisions will reflect more purpose. These are signs that your inner picture is beginning to shape your outer behavior. Over time, this alignment builds a deep sense of trust in yourself. You'll know where you're going because you've already seen it clearly in your mind. That clarity becomes your compass. You do not need external approval to create an inner vision. You don't have to explain it to others. Your visualization is personal. It belongs to your values, your purpose, and your journey. Protect it. Don't let doubt, comparison, or impatience poison it. Feed it with quiet belief, consistent effort, and disciplined thought. What you see regularly becomes what you seek. And what you seek shapes what you build. If you want to make your visualizations more effective, write them down. Describe your ideal outcome in vivid detail. Read it each morning and night. Let it become part of your mental rhythm. This written vision becomes a contract between who you are now and who you're becoming. It holds you accountable without pressure. It keeps you rooted without fear. Your written vision is not a fantasy. It's a decision made in advance. The most powerful part of visualization is not what you see. It's who you become through the process. You begin to act like the person who belongs in the future you imagined. You walk into your days with more certainty. You carry yourself with quiet conviction. You stop chasing validation and start building outcomes. And over time, others will see in you what you already saw within yourself. That is the reward of purposeful visualization. It brings your potential from the shadows into the light. Stay committed to your vision even when the pace feels slow. Every mental image is a seed. You might not see the result right away, but you're building something strong beneath the surface. Keep watering it with clarity, focus, and patience. Your mind is always working with you or against you. Give it direction, fill it with scenes that move you forward, and most of all, believe in the future you've chosen to see, again and again until it becomes the life you live. Chapter 6. Reprogram fear with truth, focus, and daily courage. Fear is one of the most powerful forces shaping human behavior. It often holds us back, limits our choices, and clouds our judgment. Yet fear is not an absolute truth. It is a response shaped by perception and habit. To live fully and move forward consistently, it is essential to reprogram fear, not by denying it, but by replacing it with truth, focus, and daily courage. This transformation is possible through intentional practice and mental discipline. Fear thrives on uncertainty and exaggeration. It often takes an imagined threat and inflates it until it feels overwhelming. The mind conjures worst-case scenarios and dwells on what might go wrong rather than what can go right. This reaction is natural but not fixed. The brain is adaptable, able to learn new ways of seeing and responding. Reprogramming fear begins with a clear and unwavering commitment to truth. You must actively confront the stories fear tells you and test them against reality. Is the danger real or imagined? Is the outcome guaranteed or merely possible? Is the fear helping you survive or holding you back unnecessarily? One practical step is to pause whenever fear arises. Instead of reacting instantly, take a moment to name the fear clearly. What exactly are you afraid of? Sometimes fear feels vague or all-encompassing, but breaking it down exposes the root cause. Naming fear reduces its power by bringing it into conscious awareness. After naming it, challenge it with facts and logic. Look for evidence that contradicts the fearful thought. For example, if fear whispers that you will fail, remind yourself of past successes or skills you have developed. Replace exaggeration with accurate perspective. Reprogramming fear also requires shifting your focus. Fear pulls your attention to what could go wrong, but focusing on positive and productive actions changes your brain's patterns. Instead of dwelling on obstacles, concentrate on solutions and possibilities. This shift is not about ignoring risks. It's about choosing where to place your energy. Attention acts like a spotlight. What you focus on grows stronger in your mind. If you spotlight fear, it magnifies. If you spotlight courage and progress, those qualities deepen. Daily courage is the muscle that rewires fear. Courage is not absence of fear but action in spite of it. Each day presents chances to practice small acts of bravery, whether speaking up, trying something new, or simply refusing to give in to negative thoughts. These actions may feel uncomfortable at first, but with repetition, they build confidence and resilience. Like physical training, mental courage strengthens with use. You begin to see fear as a challenge to overcome rather than a permanent barrier. Another practical approach is to prepare in advance for fearful situations. Anticipate moments that trigger fear and develop a plan for how to respond grounded in truth and calm focus. Visualization can help here. Imagine yourself facing the fear and responding with confidence. This mental rehearsal creates a new pattern for your brain. When the real moment arrives, your mind recalls this practiced response instead of defaulting to panic. Preparation reduces the unknown, which is often the root of fear. It is also important to surround yourself with voices and environments that support truth and courage. Fear is contagious. Negativity in others can feed your own doubts. Seek relationships and communities that encourage realistic thinking, constructive feedback, and positive reinforcement. Limit exposure to toxic influences that amplify fear and uncertainty unnecessarily. Your environment plays a critical role in shaping your mindset. Fear can also be managed through simple daily habits that calm the nervous system and promote clarity. Practices such as mindful breathing, meditation, or journaling help regulate emotions and create space between stimulus and reaction. When your body is calmer, fear loses its grip. Mental clarity allows you to see situations more objectively and choose responses that reflect your values and goals rather than survival instincts. Embrace discomfort as part of growth, rather than a sign to retreat. Fear often signals that you are stepping beyond your comfort zone, which is exactly where growth happens. By consistently moving forward despite discomfort, you build new neural pathways that associate challenge with progress rather than danger. Over time, this rewiring decreases the intensity of fear responses and increases your ability to face uncertainty with steadiness. Truth, focus, and courage are not isolated practices but integrated parts of a mindset that can be cultivated daily. Truth grounds you in reality, focus directs your energy constructively, and courage moves you forward. Together they form a powerful antidote to fear's paralysis. Each day presents an opportunity to choose this path, to reinforce new habits of thought and action that expand your possibilities rather than contract them. Reprogramming fear is not about quick fixes or pretending fear does not exist. It is about patiently and persistently shaping your mind to respond differently. It requires honesty about what scares you and commitment to building new mental patterns. This journey builds resilience, a strength that sustains you through life's inevitable uncertainties. Resilience comes from knowing you can face fear with clarity and courage, not by avoiding it. Remember that your subconscious mind is highly influenced by what you repeatedly think and feel. Fear becomes entrenched because it is rehearsed and reinforced often. By choosing to focus daily on truth and courage, you overwrite those old fearful patterns. Your subconscious learns a new narrative, one where you face challenges confidently and move steadily toward your goals. This shift transforms fear from a stopping point into a stepping stone. When fear threatens to consume your attention, remind yourself that it is a feeling, not a fact. Feelings are powerful but temporary. Facts are enduring and verifiable. Anchor yourself in facts as often as possible. This practice gradually retrains your brain to seek clarity rather than chaos. It allows you to act deliberately rather than react impulsively. Action grounded in truth dismantles fear's hold. Commit to small, courageous steps every day. These can be as simple as speaking up in a meeting, setting a boundary, or tackling a difficult task you've postponed. Each step builds momentum. Over time, you will notice fear's voice growing quieter and your inner strength growing louder. Courage becomes a habit. It reshapes your identity. You become the person who acts despite fear, not the person who is controlled by it. The process of reprogramming fear also deepens your understanding of yourself. You learn which fears are legitimate signals to protect yourself and which are outdated or exaggerated responses. This awareness is critical for growth. It empowers you to respond appropriately rather than being hijacked by automatic reactions. Self-knowledge is the foundation of mastery. It is natural to encounter setbacks and moments when fear seems overwhelming. These moments do not undo progress. Instead, they offer opportunities to apply your new skills. When fear returns, greet it with curiosity rather than judgment. Ask what message it carries and how you can respond with truth and courage. This stance transforms fear from an enemy into a teacher. As you continue this work, you will find fear losing its control over your decisions and your future. Your mind becomes a tool you can rely on instead of a force that controls you. This is the essence of freedom, choosing your response in every moment rather than being driven by unconscious fear. It is the foundation for lasting success and fulfillment. The daily practice of truth, focus, and courage rewires your brain, reshapes your habits, and refines your character. It strengthens your ability to navigate uncertainty with calm and clarity. This skill will serve you in all areas of life, from relationships to work to personal goals. It builds the resilience needed to face challenges without losing sight of your purpose. Ultimately, reprogramming fear is an act of self-respect. It declares that your potential is greater than your doubts. It insists that your life will not be limited by imagined dangers. By embracing truth, focus, and daily courage, you reclaim your power and move forward with steady confidence. Fear no longer holds the key to your future. You do. Chapter 7. Choose new habits that match your highest vision. Every moment offers the chance to shape your future by the habits you choose today. Habits are not merely repeated actions, they are the foundation of identity and the architecture of your daily life. If your vision for your life is clear and strong, then the habits you cultivate must align with that vision. Without this alignment, progress becomes difficult and disjointed, leaving you stuck in patterns that do not serve your highest potential. Choosing new habits that match your highest vision is a deliberate and empowering act that transforms your reality from the inside out. The first step in this process is to clearly define what your highest vision truly is. This vision is not a vague wish or fleeting desire. It is a well-considered, deeply felt picture of who you want to become and the life you want to live. It encompasses your values, goals, and the legacy you want to leave. This clarity acts as a compass, guiding every habit you select. Without a strong vision, habits can become empty routines with little meaning or power behind them. Once your vision is clear, take a moment to examine your current habits honestly. Which of them propel you toward that vision, and which hold you back? This honest assessment is crucial because it reveals where your energy is going each day. Often people cling to habits that feel comfortable or familiar even when they are counterproductive. Breaking free from these habits requires courage and awareness. It is not about perfection, but about progress and intention. Choosing new habits starts with small, manageable actions that build momentum. It is tempting to try to overhaul everything at once, but sustainable change is gradual. Focus on 1 or 2 habits at a time that have the highest impact on your vision. For example, if your highest vision includes improved health and energy, a habit might be drinking more water each morning or taking a daily walk. If your vision includes professional growth, a habit could be dedicating 15 minutes daily to learning a new skill. These simple steps accumulate and form a powerful foundation. Consistency is the secret ingredient in habit formation. Even small habits done daily become automatic and require less conscious effort over time. This automaticity frees your mind to focus on bigger challenges. To support consistency, create an environment that encourages your new habits. This might mean organizing your space to remove distractions or setting reminders to prompt your action. Your environment either supports or sabotages your efforts. Be intentional about shaping it in favor of your vision. Tracking progress is another powerful tool. When you record your success, even the smallest ones, it reinforces your commitment and builds confidence. Tracking helps identify patterns and obstacles so you can adjust strategies accordingly. Celebrate wins, no matter how small. Each step forward is proof that change is possible and within your control. It is essential to understand that habits are linked to your identity. When you choose habits aligned with your highest vision, you are not just changing what you do, but who you are becoming. This alignment creates internal harmony and motivation. The more your actions reflect your vision, the stronger your belief in your ability to achieve it becomes. Identity-based habits are more resilient because they are tied to how you see yourself. Sometimes old habits resist change because they serve hidden emotional needs. For example, a habit of procrastination might be linked to fear or perfectionism. New habits that match your vision must address these underlying needs or replace them with healthier alternatives. This deeper work requires patience and self-compassion. When you understand the why behind your habits, you can design replacements that are more effective and fulfilling. Accountability accelerates habit change. Sharing your vision and habit goals with trusted individuals creates external support and motivation. Accountability partners can encourage you, remind you of your why, and provide honest feedback. This social connection adds a layer of commitment that increases the likelihood of success. Choose people who respect your vision and uplift your efforts. Flexibility is important as you integrate new habits. Life is unpredictable, and rigid routines can lead to frustration when disrupted. Rather than seeing setbacks as failure, view them as learning opportunities. Adapt your habits to fit changing circumstances while maintaining alignment with your vision. This adaptability keeps you moving forward without losing momentum or confidence. Incorporate reflection as a daily or weekly habit. Take time to assess how your new habits are serving your vision. Ask yourself what is working, what is challenging, and what adjustments are needed. Reflection deepens self-awareness and connects actions to purpose. This connection fuels motivation and prevents habits from becoming mindless tasks. Visualization of your highest vision while practicing new habits strengthens the connection between intention and action. When you see yourself living that vision vividly, your mind begins to accept it as reality. This acceptance enhances commitment and makes habits feel more meaningful. Visualization also helps overcome doubts and resistance by reinforcing belief in your potential. Remember that habits shape your brain through repetition. Each time you perform a habit, you strengthen neural pathways related to that behavior. Choosing habits that support your highest vision literally rewires your brain for success. This neurological change explains why persistence is essential. The brain needs time to adapt. Over time, these new habits become effortless parts of your life. The journey of choosing new habits aligned with your highest vision is also a journey of self-respect. It is a daily affirmation that you value your growth and your future. This respect motivates you to protect your time and energy from distractions and temptations that pull you away from your vision. It creates a boundary that honors your goals and priorities. Your vision is alive and may evolve as you grow. Regularly revisit and refine it to ensure your habits remain aligned. This ongoing process keeps you connected to what matters most and prevents stagnation. Growth is dynamic, and so are the habits that support it. Every habit you choose is a vote for the type of person you want to become. When your habits and vision align, your life flows with purpose and direction. This harmony brings satisfaction and peace because your daily actions reflect your deepest aspirations. Begin today by identifying one habit that directly supports your highest vision. Commit to practicing it consistently with patience and kindness toward yourself. Track your progress and celebrate each success. Surround yourself with encouragement and remain flexible as you grow. This commitment to aligned habits will build the life you imagine and deserve. In this process, remember that change is not about perfection, but progress. Each new habit is a step toward the life you envision. Through steady and intentional choices, you shape your future and become the person capable of achieving your highest dreams. This is the power of choosing habits that match your vision, transforming your potential into reality through disciplined, meaningful action. Chapter 8. Protect your mind from doubt, negativity, and distraction. Protecting your mind from doubt, negativity, and distraction is one of the most powerful acts you can perform in the journey of personal growth. The mind is a fertile ground where thoughts grow, and the quality of those thoughts directly influences your feelings, actions, and outcomes. When doubt seeps in, negativity takes root, or distractions scatter your focus, progress slows, and your energy dissipates. Guarding your mental space is essential to maintain clarity, strength, and resilience. This protection is not about avoiding challenges or shutting out reality, but about choosing what you allow to influence your inner world. Doubt is a natural part of human experience, but it becomes harmful when it lingers and controls your decisions. Doubt often arises from fear of failure, past experiences, or a lack of trust in yourself. To protect your mind, it's important to recognize doubt as a visitor rather than a permanent resident. When doubt appears, observe it without judgment and question its validity. Ask yourself if this doubt is based on facts or just assumptions and fears. This simple questioning weakens doubt's grip and creates space for confidence. Negativity often comes disguised as criticism, pessimism, or self-limiting beliefs. It can come from external sources, like other people's opinions, or from your own inner dialogue. To protect your mind, become aware of where negativity originates. When you hear negative voices or thoughts, pause and evaluate their truthfulness. Not every criticism deserves your attention. Separate constructive feedback that helps you grow from destructive negativity that pulls you down. Develop a habit of replacing negative thoughts with balanced, truthful, and empowering ones. This shift requires practice, but it rewires your brain to focus on possibilities rather than obstacles. Distraction is one of the most subtle enemies of the mind. It fragments attention and wastes precious energy. Distractions come in many forms: constant notifications, aimless internet browsing, unproductive conversations, or even overthinking. To protect your mind from distraction, create intentional boundaries in your environment. Designate specific times for focused work or reflection without interruptions. Limit exposure to digital noise by turning off unnecessary alerts and setting clear intentions before engaging with technology. Discipline your mind by practicing single tasking instead of multitasking to deepen focus and efficiency. One effective way to shield your mind is by curating the information and influences you consume daily. What you read, watch, listen to, and the company you keep all shape your mental landscape. Surround yourself with content that inspires, educates, and uplifts, rather than drains or confuses. Choose relationships that encourage growth, honesty, and support. This selective intake acts as a filter that preserves your mental energy and fosters positivity. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for protecting your mental space. It trains you to observe thoughts and feelings without becoming overwhelmed or reactive. Through mindfulness, you gain the ability to recognize when doubt, negativity, or distraction arise and consciously decide how to respond. Regular mindfulness practice enhances mental clarity, emotional balance, and resilience. It creates a buffer between stimulus and reaction, giving you control over what you allow to affect your mind. Setting clear intentions each day also fortifies your mental defenses. When you start the day with a focused purpose, your mind naturally aligns with that intention. This focus makes it easier to notice when thoughts or external influences stray from your path. Intentions act as anchors, keeping you grounded amid the chaos of everyday life. Reinforce your intentions with affirmations that remind you of your values and goals. Journaling can serve as a protective ritual. Writing down your thoughts exposes hidden doubts and negative beliefs, allowing you to confront and reframe them. Journaling also helps identify recurring distractions and emotional triggers. By documenting your mental patterns, you gain insight and control. This practice deepens self-awareness and strengthens your ability to guard your mind effectively. Rest and recovery are often overlooked, but critical components of mental protection. A tired and overwhelmed mind is more vulnerable to doubt and distraction. Prioritize sufficient sleep, breaks, and moments of calm. Physical exercise, nature walks, and deep breathing techniques refresh your mental state. When your mind is well rested, you have greater clarity and resilience to face challenges without succumbing to negativity. Building a routine that includes time for learning and reflection empowers you to stay mentally sharp and motivated. When you continuously feed your mind with new knowledge and wisdom, it becomes more resistant to negativity and doubt. Growth fosters confidence and reduces the space for unproductive thoughts. Reflection also allows you to celebrate progress and adjust your mental habits as needed. Practice compassion towards yourself as part of mental protection. Harsh self-criticism amplifies negativity and doubt, weakening your inner defenses. Treat yourself with kindness and patience, especially when setbacks occur. Self-compassion strengthens resilience and nurtures a positive mental environment. It encourages a growth mindset where mistakes are seen as opportunities rather than failures. Remember that protecting your mind is an ongoing process, not a one-time effort. New doubts, negative influences, and distractions will arise as you grow. Each time you practice awareness, questioning, and redirection, you reinforce your mental boundaries. Over time, this discipline cultivates a strong, clear, and focused mind capable of supporting your highest ambitions. Learn to say no to anything that threatens your mental peace. This might be toxic relationships, unnecessary obligations, or consuming media that drains your energy. Saying no is a powerful act of self-respect and protection. It frees you to invest time and energy in what truly matters. When external negativity invades, remind yourself that your thoughts are your power. You decide which ones to nurture and which to dismiss. Guarding your mind means choosing thoughts that build strength, hope, and clarity. These thoughts fuel action and sustain progress. Create daily rituals that reinforce mental protection. This could include morning meditation, evening reflection, reading inspiring material, or intentional pauses during the day to reset. Rituals build consistency and strengthen your mental resilience over time. Developing a mental sanctuary, a quiet space or practice where you can retreat and recharge, is invaluable. This sanctuary might be a physical location or a mental exercise like visualization or deep breathing. It provides a refuge from external noise and recenters your focus. Surround yourself with reminders of your purpose and values. Visual cues, notes, or symbols can reinforce your mental guardrails. When doubt or negativity creep in, these reminders help realign your thoughts with your true path. Understand that the quality of your mind's content shapes your life experience. By protecting your mind from doubt, negativity, and distraction, you cultivate peace, clarity, and power. This mental environment supports wise choices, resilience in adversity, and steady progress. Commit to this protection as a daily discipline. Like physical fitness, mental fitness requires regular effort and care. Each moment you defend your mind, you strengthen your capacity to create the life you envision. Your mind is the foundation of everything you do. When it is clear, focused, and positive, your actions become aligned and effective. Protecting your mind is not optional but essential for sustained growth and fulfillment. Embrace this responsibility with courage and consistency. The rewards are profound. A life lived with purpose, peace, and unstoppable momentum toward your highest goals. The power to shape your experience lies within your mental boundaries. Guard them well and watch how your world transforms. Chapter 9. Use sleep to plant empowering thoughts for change. The power of sleep stretches far beyond rest and physical recovery. Sleep is a profound gateway where the subconscious mind becomes especially receptive, making it a vital tool for planting empowering thoughts that can transform the course of your life. The state between wakefulness and deep sleep offers a unique opportunity to influence your inner programming, shaping beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors in ways that manifest as real-world change. Harnessing this natural cycle with intention creates a foundation for growth that begins while your body is still and your mind is most open. Before sleep, the mind's filtering mechanisms soften, allowing suggestions and ideas to seep deeper than during the busy hours of the day. This is why what you focus on just before drifting off carries extraordinary weight. If your thoughts revolve around worry, fear, or self-doubt, these too can root themselves firmly in your subconscious, repeating the patterns you seek to escape. Yet, if you carefully choose empowering, hopeful, and constructive thoughts during this transition, you cultivate an inner environment primed for positive transformation. Preparing for sleep with deliberate mental habits can be one of the most effective steps toward lasting change. The day's stresses and cluttered thoughts naturally want to follow you to bed, but consciously releasing them before sleep clears a path for new programming. This means creating a routine that signals your mind it's time to let go of distractions and open to growth. The simplest form of this might be a quiet moment of reflection or focused breathing that invites calm. Within this calm, consciously introduce thoughts or affirmations aligned with the change you desire. These affirmations must be clear, present tense, and emotionally charged. Instead of saying, "I want to be confident," say, "I am confident and calm in every situation." The subconscious does not understand future tense or wishes, it reacts to immediate vivid images and feelings. Words that evoke strong positive emotions, pride, joy, peace, cement these suggestions deeper into your inner landscape. Repetition is key here, gently embedding these truths through nightly practice, transforming your mind's narrative at the root level. The power of imagery complements words beautifully during this time. Visualization of success or desired change, paired with sensory details like sight, sound, and even physical sensation, awakens the subconscious mind's creative force. Imagine the feeling of confidence coursing through your body, the sound of calm, steady breaths, the sight of yourself handling challenges with grace. This sensory richness makes the imagined experience tangible, heightening the mind's acceptance and the likelihood of manifestation. The environment around you contributes heavily to the quality of your sleep and the effectiveness of your subconscious planting. Creating a sanctuary free from noise, harsh lights, and interruptions allows your mind to relax fully and open to suggestion. Temperature, bedding comfort, and even scent can affect your brain waves and sleep depth, influencing how deeply these empowering thoughts root. Establishing a consistent bedtime routine that includes dimming lights and gentle sounds supports your body's natural rhythms and primes the subconscious for reprogramming. Technology's intrusion before sleep often works against this process. The blue light from screens suppresses melatonin production, delaying the onset of restful sleep. Moreover, consuming news or social media content can stir negative or chaotic thoughts that interfere with subconscious conditioning. A conscious choice to disconnect and replace screen time with calming rituals is essential. Reading uplifting material, practicing gratitude journaling, or listening to soothing music are excellent ways to nurture a receptive mental state. The impact of sleep on memory consolidation is another reason it's a fertile ground for planting new beliefs. During certain phases of sleep, the brain processes and stores experiences and learned information. By offering your subconscious empowering content before sleep, you are essentially providing your brain with material to prioritize and strengthen. Over time, this rewiring changes your automatic responses and internal dialogue, making positive behavior more natural and effortless. It's important to note that the subconscious mind works gradually. Immediate change is rare, but consistent nightly practice builds momentum. Like watering a seed repeatedly, every evening you invest thought energy into empowering ideas, you nurture growth beneath the surface. Patience and persistence, combined with disciplined repetition, are the keys to lasting transformation. Avoiding mental clutter before bed also means letting go of unresolved problems and worries. Writing them down earlier in the day or scheduling a worry time helps prevent these concerns from following you into sleep. A mind preoccupied with stress cannot absorb positive programming effectively. The goal is to create a mental pause where growth-oriented thoughts can enter without resistance or interference. Beyond words and images, emotion is a powerful conduit for planting seeds in the subconscious during sleep. Cultivating feelings of gratitude, love, and peace before rest floods the mind with positive chemicals and signals that reinforce well-being. When you feel gratitude for even the smallest blessings or accomplishments, you signal your brain to focus on abundance rather than lack. This emotional tone attracts more of what you desire and anchors your mental state in strength and optimism. Morning reflection serves as a natural extension of the sleep planting process. Upon waking, your mind remains in a receptive liminal state where you can gently review your empowering thoughts from the night. Reaffirm these ideas and visualize yourself living them out in the day ahead. This integration of subconscious planting and conscious action strengthens neural pathways and keeps your growth trajectory aligned. Over time, this disciplined use of sleep as a tool creates a profound synergy between your conscious intentions and subconscious programming. Your mind begins to operate with greater harmony, supporting your goals without internal conflict. Habits become easier to form, self-doubt diminishes, and motivation deepens. The invisible work done during sleep unfolds into visible success during waking hours. Sleep, often underestimated, is one of the most accessible and natural resources for self-improvement. Unlike external methods that rely on effort and willpower alone, using sleep taps into the brain's innate processing power. This collaboration between rest and growth creates a sustainable path toward meaningful change. Embracing sleep as an active participant in your transformation redefines rest as a dynamic process of empowerment rather than mere pause. Approach each night with the knowledge that your mind is ready to receive and plant new possibilities. With intention, clarity, and emotional engagement, your subconscious mind becomes a fertile garden where empowering thoughts take root and flourish. The slow, steady cultivation of this mental garden nourishes your growth and propels you toward your highest potential. In the stillness of sleep, your mind is not idle. It is working silently to shape the reality you will live. Harness this truth by making your final waking moments deliberate and constructive. Choose thoughts that serve your vision, breathe into them with feeling, and trust the process unfolding beneath your awareness. The rewards of this practice echo beyond each night, building the foundation for a life marked by strength, confidence, and lasting success. Chapter 10. Repeat success thoughts until they become your identity. The thoughts we nurture most often are the ones that shape our identity. When success becomes a repeated thought, ingrained deep in the mind, it transcends being just an idea. It becomes who we are. The power of repetition is not merely about affirming goals, but about transforming the self at a fundamental level. To embody success, it must move beyond occasional inspiration and settle into the fabric of daily thinking. This repeated mental practice rewires the brain, aligning your actions, decisions, and reactions with the mindset of achievement. Every habit, every behavior begins as a thought. When the same success-oriented thoughts echo regularly, they begin to form patterns that your subconscious accepts as truth. These patterns define how you view yourself and the possibilities around you. Repeating thoughts that affirm your capability, resilience, and worth builds a foundation where doubts lose their grip. It fosters a mental environment where confidence thrives naturally, without the need for constant external validation. The process requires discipline. It means deliberately selecting which thoughts to return to again and again. This cannot be left to chance or passive drifting. The mind, if unattended, will often circle back to fears, setbacks, or insecurities. To replace these, intentionally focus on success thoughts with clarity and emotional conviction. Doing so transforms vague aspirations into a lived reality that feels tangible and authentic. Repetition has a compounding effect. Each time a success thought is recalled, it strengthens the neural connections related to confidence and determination. These mental pathways grow like well-trodden roads, making it easier for the brain to access empowering states. Over time, this practice makes resilience and ambition reflexive rather than effortful. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming become manageable because the mental groundwork supports persistence. Consistency in thought repetition also shapes how others perceive you. When your inner dialogue reflects belief and optimism, it radiates outward in your behavior and communication. This coherence between inner and outer self creates a magnetic presence that draws opportunities and partnerships aligned with your success. People respond to confidence that feels genuine, and repeating success thoughts ensures that confidence is not superficial but rooted deeply within. The emotional quality of the repeated thoughts is crucial. Simply saying, "I am successful," without feeling it lacks the power to shift identity. True change happens when those words evoke genuine feelings of pride, satisfaction, and purpose. This emotional charge acts as a catalyst, engaging the subconscious more fully. Embodying success mentally means feeling it as though it is already part of your reality, which hastens its materialization in your life. It's essential to catch and replace negative or limiting thoughts as they arise. Every moment you allow doubt to linger, you reinforce the opposite of what you desire. The discipline to interrupt these thoughts with success affirmations is a practice of mental mastery. This ongoing battle for your mental space determines the quality of your internal narrative and ultimately your lived experience. Creating a daily ritual around repeating success thoughts anchors this practice. Whether through journaling, quiet reflection, or spoken affirmations, dedicating time each day signals to your subconscious that this is a priority. This ritual fosters a habit loop that keeps your mind aligned with your highest vision. As these thoughts become habitual, they cease to feel forced and instead integrate naturally into your thinking patterns. The identity shaped by these repeated success thoughts is resilient because it is internally constructed rather than dependent on external circumstances. Life's ups and downs do not erode this identity, they test and refine it. With a strong mental foundation, setbacks become temporary detours rather than defining moments. This resilience is a hallmark of those who achieve lasting success and fulfillment. Moreover, the practice of repetition nurtures self-awareness. As you observe your thoughts regularly, you become attuned to subtle shifts in mindset. This awareness allows for timely course corrections, ensuring your thoughts remain aligned with your goals. It also deepens understanding of your values and desires, which are essential components of an authentic success identity. The language you use during this repetition shapes the specificity and clarity of your identity. Vague or general thoughts lack the precision needed to guide focused action. Refined, detailed thoughts about what success means to you personally create a clear target for your subconscious. This clarity fuels motivation and directs energy efficiently, minimizing distraction or wasted effort. It's important to recognize that this is a lifelong practice, not a quick fix. Identity is dynamic and continuously shaped by your inner dialogue. Regularly refreshing your success thoughts keeps them relevant as your goals evolve. This ongoing engagement prevents complacency and encourages growth beyond initial achievements. When success thoughts become your identity, you begin to live from a place of self-trust and authenticity. Decisions align naturally with your values, and your actions reflect a coherent vision of who you are. This alignment reduces internal conflict and enhances peace of mind, enabling you to focus on meaningful pursuits without hesitation. In essence, repeating success thoughts until they become your identity is an act of deliberate creation. It is a conscious choice to define yourself by the qualities and outcomes you desire most. This internal commitment empowers you to navigate life's complexities with purpose and confidence. It transforms the subconscious from a passive receiver of circumstance into an active architect of destiny. Every successful person, whether recognized widely or known intimately, shares this underlying truth. Their thoughts have shaped their identity. By persistently focusing on empowering thoughts, they build the mental frameworks that support extraordinary achievements. This chapter closes with the understanding that your mind is a garden where thoughts are seeds. Choose carefully, nurture consistently, and watch your identity flourish into the success you envision.